What a way to celebrate there. Welcome you on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adini Ajishafe. Well, the under-20 team, as the Flying Eagles celebrated the outside of Uganda from this competition, at least qualifying for the World Cup is a feat for them right now. They'll be going to Indonesia after getting that particular opportunity to make it to the under-20 World Cup that will be coming up later. But right now, they are celebrating. Why they are celebrating that? Nigerians are telling them, don't be carried away. You still have 2 matches to play before you can leave the trophy. Well, let's start with the first story. Under-20 AFCON, Flying Eagles edge Uganda, qualify for FIFA Under-20 World Cup after they got that particular own goal against Uganda. Koslov Juma, it was an own goal anyway, but the deal has been done, and right now they are celebrating the fact that they qualify for the Under-20 World Cup and also get to the semi-final of the Under-20 AFCON taking place in Egypt. We talk about that particular story alongside Emmanuel Fashimi. Good to have you.
Thank you for having me. For the Flying Eagles, it was quite an impressive, let me say, an impressive feat for them to have gotten the ticket. So, but overall, the performance against the Ugandans yesterday was not really a top notch. I've said this from the first game where we lost against Senegal. It was we noticed some lapses, and then the second game, a game against Egypt, and then Mozambique. And now yesterday's game was more as in not really what we wanted from the Flying Eagles. In the first 3 games, they tried their best, they gave their best, but yesterday's game was not they were not there for me, because a lot of issues, a lot of mistakes from the team. Ball control, the passes, they were not able to put some good passes together. And if the Ugandans, if they had gotten their chances, they would have got an equalizer, and then maybe it would go to extra time and straight to penalty shootout. But overall, we've won. We've gotten the ticket. That is the first objective: get the ticket to Indonesia come May this year. But their performances was nothing to write home about. I believe London Boso, if they really want to leave this trophy the 8th time, then they should change the way they play, because there's no cohesion from the back line down to the attackers. There's no cohesion, there's no team understanding. There's what we call misplaced, as in they misplace most of their passes. They don't know where to put the ball at the right time. So for London Boso, I think he still has a lot of work to do. He should use this semi-final game, and probably if they get to the final, to correct these mistakes and then prepare them, because we just have a few months to the World Cup, so they should get it right.
Really, it was a performance a lot of Nigerians really questioned, but the fact that they qualify right now has overshadowed their performance. They need to up their game if they are to do well in the semi-final, also eventually if they get to the final. It's going to be a tough one, and they just have to do it. While we're looking at that story, let's talk about the coach, Adam Boso, right now. The second story says Boso shift focus on CAF Under-20 AFCON trophy. He wants to see how they can lift it right now. They've secured the World Cup ticket, but now need to perform very well before they get to the final. Now, shifting focus onto that particular trophy. They've gotten the first leg. That is, I'm talking about they were pursuing 2 things. One, they got the ticket to go to the World Cup. The second one now, qualifying for the semi-final. And it's possible they could be facing either Congo or Tunisia in the next round. That is in semi-final, before the final. And I can bet with you, it's getting tougher and tougher.
I know in any competition, as you go to the next stage, it becomes hard for you as a team, and that is what we are seeing right now. In the group stage, you are very lucky to play 1 match, play another match, play the 3rd one. There you have 2 chances to correct all your mistakes. But from the quarterfinal, semi-final, if you lose, you are out of the competition. But for us, thank God, we've gotten the ticket. The first, like you mentioned, the first stage objective of this competition is to get the ticket. And now shifting focus to the final, he needs to cross the hurdle of the semi-final before the final. Lifting the trophy for the 8th time will not just come handy. You have to work for it, and that is why we are saying their pattern of play they need to up their game. They need to, they need to change the way they play if they really want to lift that trophy for the 8th time. And that is what Landabusu should do. Not just setting your sight. You want to put the cart before the wheel. You have to, first of all, look at, okay, who am I playing in the semi-final? How am I going to cross this hurdle before you start talking about lifting the trophy? Fine, it's good for you to project. It's good for you to have high hopes and ambition. There's nobody is stopping you to do that. But what you need to do first, you need to put your house in order. You need to put your home in order. Whom are we playing? Like you mentioned, is it Congo? Is it Tunisia? And any of these teams that we are going to play are not just an easy prey. They are not going to be easy, because they themselves also want to win that trophy. They also want to get to the final. They also want to make a statement. So he should, first of all, look at some of these lapses that we are mentioning right now, the way the team is playing, and then correct that. Up front, we are not there. Sincerely speaking, we are not there. If we hadn't gotten that own goal yesterday, that means we would have played goalless, and then at the end of the day, we go to extra time. So Landabusu should correct some of these mistakes. It's good he's dreaming that trophy right now. 8th time, yes, we want it at all costs. Let me use that. We want it at all costs, but we need to do things that will make us win it first. Look at the team you will play, any of the team that comes your way. Look at their weaknesses, look at how you can penetrate, and look at your own side, how you can build on all these mistakes and then correct them, so that we can have a viable under-20 team. Though the boys are good, individually they are good, but we need teamwork.
Just like you have said, individually they are very, very good. I remember that Solomon Agbalaka winning man of the match twice back-to-back, and now we have a new person in the person of Abel Oguche. Abel Oguche got the man of the match, making it 3 for Nigerians now in this tournament. So 4 matches they've played, they've got 3 man of the match now. So for Abel Oguche, I think really deserve it.
Yes, he deserved it, because yesterday, though I had expected the goalkeeper to actually scoop Anigboso yesterday, because he has kept 3 clean sheets right now. Over the matches they've played, he has shown that composure. He has shown that commanding. You know, a goalkeeper that has this commanding spirit at the back line, you are able to tell your defenders where to stay. You are able to tell them, go do this, stay here, and that is what I've seen in Anigboso. I expected him to have scooped the man of the match yesterday, but overall, even the Oguche that they gave the man of the match award to, I think he deserved it, because he actually played very well from his own side. So it's not bad. Oguche or Anigboso, whoever they gave that man of the match award yesterday, it's a good one. And right now we've won it 3 times. That means there's something exceptional about this team, because winning, we have 3, Agbalaka twice, and now we have a new person, Oguche. So we are really doing, individually we are good, but that teamwork, we're still lacking it.
Well, Flying Eagles needs to work together to have that cohesive spirit right now, because they'll be facing more stronger teams as they progress. Semi-final, but they have it right now, and they also qualify for the World Cup. Like I said, they could be facing Congo or Tunisia. We see to that, but let's look at the third story that has to do with the Under-20 Nations Cup taking place in Egypt, where Senegal, they were the first team to qualify for the World Cup after the Benin Republic to qualify for semi-final and also the World Cup. But right now, Senegal, I'm a bit skeptical about this, because they defeated in the first match when we met in the group stage. And the way I look at the junior Teranga Lions, they seem to be the best team so far in this tournament.
You are not wrong by saying this. They are the best. Remove
so far.
Yes, they are the best so far in this tournament, because in all departments they are good. And if you look at the way the Senegalese are playing, from the top down to the last team, to the cadet team, I think they are just too good. And now if you look at the way this team is playing, they are not just playing like as in they play like a team that has been together for the past 4 years. There is an understanding in the team, and with the way they play, the way they go up front, from the back line down to the attacking line, they are just too good. And if we meet them in the final again, that's probably, if we are going to meet them, fine. I know it's not going to be an easy one for either Nigeria or they themselves, because we wouldn't want them to beat us twice. Let's not forget that in the Under 20 World Cup, the last outing, they defeated us, and now coming to this, we are in the same group. They defeated us in the opening match, and now they have progressed so far. They are the first team to qualify to the semi-final, so they are just too good for me. If Nigeria meet them in the final, then we'll have our hands full. We really have
no matter how full the hand is, all the guys needs to do is to get one of those players that won the Atlanta 96 Olympics to give them some pep talk. You know why I said that? The likes of Garuba Lawal or Kanu Wanko or Daniel Amoka, you should just be given the chance to talk to them. We did it before. We were defeated by Brazil, and by the time we met, we showed them. We showed them Pepe. Yes, so borrow from this particular performance from us in 1996. You two can also do it. That is eventually, if two of them, that is Nigeria and Senegal, gets to the final. So they should get that handout to them through one of these ex-players that did it, to talk to those boys, to at least give them that confidence, boost their morals, that you can, in fact, do better than us. Go out there, beat these guys.
Yes, every pep talk that the Flying Eagles need right now should just be coming in. Either present player, past players, Super Eagles players, they just need to give these guys pep talk, boost their confidence, let them go further. I love what the Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa did some times ago by talking to them, and I think that's an encouragement. If other players can also do the same, then we can have a better team. But like you mentioned, the ex-Super Eagles player, the Atlanta 96 squad, the likes of Kanu Wanko,
at least they have a very good example to show that yes, we did it.
We can. You guys can also emulate us by beating Senegal if you get to the final.
A memorable time in the mind of Nigeria, and that 1996 Atlanta Olympics will never go easy. But right now, we just have to continue talking about the under 20, but they've done well by qualifying for the semi-final. We hope that they will be able to get to the final and eventually get that particular trophy. Well, World Cup ticket is in their hand right now, preparing for Indonesia. Coach Ladan Boso and the entire squad need to work better and stronger this time around, for the World Cup is another level of football. It's international, and they need to up their game internationally. Giving you updates concerning those games coming up, or rather that came up in the quarterfinals of the AFCON under 20 in Egypt. That match was played over there in Ismailia City at the Suez Canal. Now we move to basketball. Now let's look at the NBA matches or games were played earlier today, and we just have to quickly look at those games. Our top performers, we have Portis scoring like 23 points for Toronto Raptors. He did well. They are getting 23 points, 13 rebound and 3 steal. And we have Kozma also for Washington Wizards. He scored 30 points to follow up with those results there. Washington Wizards, actually, they won their game against Toronto Raptors. And you have Philadelphia 76ers against Dallas Mavericks, 126 against 133, where James Harden got 27 points and 13 assists. Luka Doncic got 42 points and 12 assists in that game for Dallas Mavericks. Indiana Pacers 99 against San Antonio Spurs, who scored 110. And you have Heald. Heald scored 27 points and 3 steals. Sochan got 22 points and 13 rebounds for San Antonio Spurs. Well, Kawhi Leonard, a good one for him. He scored 21 points and 7 rebounds in that game that involved Los Angeles Clippers versus Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors won that game 115 against LA Clippers, who got 91. And you have Poole getting 34 points in that particular game. Good one for those top scorers in those games. James Harden, Luka Doncic, not forgetting Sochan and Kozman, all playing their best to make sure their teams win. And also Kawhi Leonard getting 21 points and 7 rebounds. Just to give you update in the NBA, it's always a big one whenever they play those games. It's not easy scoring 91 points, 110 points in a game. Very, very long games, but really very enjoyable. Very soon, hopefully, we'll be starting our own league in Nigeria. According to MPPF, we'll be hoping that the Women's League will start, and also the Men's League, where a lot of talent will also be discovered. Just recently, the Tigers were ousted from the FIBA World Cup. So painful, they couldn't make it. They fought hard. They won 2 games. They lost against Angola. They defeated Cote d'Ivoire and also Guinea. But it was not good enough, as the deed has been been done from the previous games they played, and right now we won't be going to the World Cup talking about the Tigers, #1 in Africa. Well, so painful. Another time for them, and we just hope the administrators will know that they really need to consider these players while they are fighting for looking at that particular scenario there. Let's go back to football. A big one happened yesterday that has to do with another El Clasico, but this time around in the Spanish Super Cup. Talking about Spanish Copa there. A tough one for Real Madrid versus Barcelona. Anytime the two teams meet, always a tough one. Barcelona beats Real Madrid in Spanish Copa del Rey semi-final first leg clash. It was even nil Militao. It's a painful one. Barcelona also taking advantage of that, the fact that the way Nigeria won, courtesy of own goal, Militao also did the same thing. But before we talk about the second leg, this first leg, a tough one for Real Madrid, not being able to defeat Barcelona.
Yes.
Santiago Bernabeu.
Yeah, this is the third time they have met this season. Let's have it in mind that the first leg of this season they defeated Barcelona. It ended 3-2. It ended the first leg, and then when they met in the Super Cup final, that was about a few weeks ago. Barcelona beat them right there in Saudi Arabia, and then now they are meeting in the semi-final of Copa del Rey, losing 1-0 at Bernabeu. It's a painful one. Militao is not the first defender that will score an own goal for Real Madrid. We've seen Sergio Ramos also doing the same when he was with them. But overall, yesterday's game, it was a high one. It was an intense game. People thought Barcelona coming from the back of defeat to Manchester United and then losing to Cadiz also in the weekend fixture, Real Madrid would have been able to get the better of Barcelona. But it's not over. This is the first leg. They still have the second leg going to Barcelona home, Camp Nou. And you know, when you are playing in Camp Nou, it's always different. But Real Madrid over the years they also have gotten some wins in Camp Nou. So, but for yesterday's game, it was just a painful one that Militao scored that own goal and they couldn't get the equalizer, and it ended in favor of Barcelona. But overall, it's not over. The second leg is still there, and Real Madrid can do the job. You know, this team Real Madrid have been overstretched. They were the eyes of the world last season, and beginning of this season they were winning right left. They went
even up to last month.
So the team has been overstretched, and if you look at it right now, it's telling on the players. So though it's not an excuse for them not to have.
After all, they have other players.
You have other players who can do the job for them, but overall, the second leg will determine who goes through.
Who do you see in the second leg?
Well, I'm seeing an extra time straight to penalty.
Seriously? It means what we are saying right now is Real Madrid are going to get that goal cancelled, and then at least both of them will go to play extra time, and also penalty. If it gets to penalty, Ter Stegen versus Thibaut Courtois.
Yeah, it might just go Real Madrid way once it gets to penalty.
See, why?
Yes.
Why did you say that?
Because if you look at the experience of the players in Real Madrid when it comes to spot kick, they are too good compared to Barcelona.
Seriously, we wait till then. Maybe they will actually prove you wrong. Really, that's talking about Carlo Ancelotti, the one they call it Don versus Xavi. It's been a fantastic performance from the two anyway, but Xavi have only been having an edge so far. Then we wait for the second leg as will be coming up over there in Nou Camp. Let's see the Blaugrana fighting against the Los Merengues as they'll be fighting in that particular encounter. Well, when it comes to football in France, we know that PSG, they are one of the best when it comes to football there, but right now they are not having it easy concerning the manager issue. The managerial issue is causing problem because they don't have much faith in Christophe Galtier. That's why we're looking at this particular story that has to do with Steven Gerrard being mooted as the next person that could take over. It's attracting interest from PSG as a replacement for Christophe Galtier there, and someone actually said, Steven Gerrard, can he manage these players? Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar with all the other stars? But another person answered and said, well, he too was a star, so he knows what it takes to be. He's not just coming, let me know, I don't want to mention any coach name now. He's not just coming from a club and not taking over a bigger club. He was a bigger player, a big player at their level. So it would be a big deal for him to manage if he's given the chance to manage PSG.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, what has his managerial qualities. It's not just to come on.
He was with Rangers, he was with Aston Villa.
Yes, it's not for you to come and put players on the field. You also need to have this what is called man management. How can you manage these guys outside the pitch of play and then on the pitch of play? And that is what it is for Steven Gerrard. If he goes to PSG, I felt he left Rangers
too early.
He would have stayed in Rangers, gather all the experience. You won the league for them. You took them to Europa League final, and you leaving Rangers, coming down to England, Aston Villa. I think that put a dent on his managerial career, because you started very small and you have already built yourself to a place where you would have sustained that momentum. But because you want to come to England and experience, you know, coming back to England, look at what is happening to Lampard. So I believe him going to PSG would be a very big one for Steven Gerrard. These stars, he was a star when in his playing days. But how can you manage these people? These people, are they going to see you like the man who's going to take them to the promised land? What PSG really need right now is not the League One trophy anymore. They want to win the Champions League at all costs. Whatever it is going to cost them to win that Champions League, that is what they want. Can Steven Gerrard give them the Champions League? Can the players there who are there right now, we can say, okay, Neymar might leave at the end of the summer. That is, I think that one is let me say 70%. That Neymar is going to leave that team at the end of the summer. But if he doesn't leave, you know this player, you know the way they behave. Will they listen to you when you talk to them?
Of course they will listen. It depends on how you want to do it.
I believe Steven Gerrard should weigh his option very, very well before moving.
Okay, let's see. Maybe Steven Gerrard will actually have that particular nod to take over there in Parc des Princes in France, where he will be coaching these mega stars like Neymar, Messi, Mbappe, and the rest of them. But from the way it is right now, it's possible that he could be getting the nod because he's really attracting a lot of interest from PSG hierarchy there. Giving the other story in the world of transfer gossip, let's take another one that talked about Raheem Sterling. Earlier on this week, news came out that Raheem Sterling could leave Chelsea, but his agent says Raheem Sterling is not leaving Chelsea in the summer. He's staying, and he wants to prove a lot of people wrong that he can actually display a lot of talent in the Blues color.
Yeah, Raheem Sterling is not a bad player. If the team is not playing well, it's not only Raheem Sterling. It's everybody that is not playing well in the team. And Raheem Sterling is a versatile player up front, in the front line. He can play any position up front. You can use him as a top nine. He can play from the wing, and he can play as a supporting striker, and that is the versatility of Raheem Sterling. So him leaving Chelsea, I don't think is a good one. He should stay in Chelsea. Like you mentioned, he should prove the critics wrong. I can do the job. All they need to do is to get a coach or Graham Potter who understands how to use this player, or Graham Potter goes back to the drawing board. How well can I use this player? What do I need to change in this team?
How was I doing it in Brighton?
In Brighton, he took
he
took 2 years for him to build that team in Brighton, and they started gradually. So I believe that the owner of Chelsea are having faith in him if they can give him that time. But you know,
are
Chelsea,
you sure? Because I saw earlier today that Luis Enrique or thereabouts is already it's possible there. You know, it comes like rumor. Before you know it, so Luis Enrique, former Spain manager, it's possible that it could be the one or anyone else. But they're already looking at maybe we can get someone else.
Well, if they sack Graham Potter,
I also saw Jose Mourinho's name being mentioned.
No. For Mourinho, he shouldn't even come to Chelsea. He should just stay where he is. But for Graham Potter, if he really wants to stay in that club, then he needs to call the team owners. Give me so time, or give yourself a time. This is what I want to do. And if you look at it critically well, all the players that Chelsea signed, I don't think Graham Potter has any say. They just bought those players for him and give it to him. And sometimes
these are very good players.
They are good players.
Things are not just working.
Just that if a coach doesn't want you in his team, it's always difficult for him to actually use those kind of players to play to his own standard. So for Graham Potter, then he should look inward.
Well, we just hope that Chelsea will get their acts together there. Talking about Raheem Sterling, that will be staying according to his agent. And congrats to Flying Eagles for qualifying for the World Cup in Indonesia and also qualifying for the semi-final of the Under-20 AFCON over there in Egypt. We wish them the best as they prosecute the remaining matches that will be coming up in this tournament. That will be it on 360 Sports on Trust TV. I've been with Emmanuel Fashimi. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.